Hi Flosstube, I'm Misty Purcell. Welcome to my channel. I am the designer behind Luminous Fiber Arts and I also dye fabric. Today is Monday the 30th of September and welcome back. I haven't been around here for a while and that's because I've been really busy, and I finally have a minute to squeeze in a video when I actually have something to show. So I've been so busy that I don't know whether I'm coming or going a lot of the time. So I think that probably that's how it will be maybe for the next rest of the school year with some little breaks in between where I get them for holidays and such. We're already a third of the way through the semester, which is crazy. And tomorrow is the 1st of October. I love October. It's my favorite month. I know that's true for a lot of you too. Okay, so let's just start off. Let's get going. I have my trusty faithful friend coffee. I don't think you've seen this mug yet, but I've been enjoying this one. I got it at TJ Maxx. Oh, and I had some comments about the ornaments on my tree, and I make a lot of stuff, but I did not make them. I cannot take credit for the awesomeness. These were made by 609 East on Etsy. This one I kind of special ordered based on one she'd done before. And then this one I just bought from her when it was listed in her shop. These are amazing. So these are felt. I'm not sure if they're wool felt or if they're craft felt, but they're felt. And then she appliques and embroiders on them, and they're just amazing. So I'll link her in case you're interested in checking her out. Her stuff is really cool. I won't try to hang those back up right now. Okay, so just a reminder, I already had a shop update like 2 weekends ago, I don't know, recently. There's a little bit of fabric in the shop. If you're interested, you can go check it out. And if you would like to be notified when I have updates, you can sign up for my email newsletter, and I'll link that. I always link it below my videos. If you have any trouble signing up and you want me to sign you up and you want to just send me your email address, that's fine too. I send out a newsletter about once a month when I have fabric or if I get a bunch of new patterns in or have some other kind of announcement. Shout outs. I'm just gonna mention a series of people and hope that you'll check them out. These are people where I've watched one video. It may not be their most recent. I haven't had a lot of time to watch Flosstube, unfortunately. So I can't necessarily tell you what their most recent video is, but some people that you can check out and say hello to. Okay, so Nineoneonestitcher. She's Stacey. She seems very interesting and very cool. Made by McGraw. She seems to have like a lot of information, very interesting projects. Brenda and the Cereal Starter, which is Brenda and Laura. They love samplers and they have a lot of rules about them. Well, not just samplers, all stitching. And I think whenever the rule makes things more fun, awesome. So like, yes, the rule that you should buy all the Blackbird Designs books, yeah, I think that's definitely a good rule to have. And Laura has been an Instagram friend of mine for a while. She on Instagram was I Crochet with Cat Fur, and she's changed her name to Currahee Stitcher, and she's made a couple of videos, so I hope you'll also give her a welcome to Flosstube. She's made 2 videos now. So please say hello to those people if you haven't checked them out already, and hope you enjoy their videos. So I have some finishes, and first I'll show you a knitting finish. Did you know I knitted? It's been a while, right? Well, I do sometimes knit. So this guy is called Boo-Yah, and he was designed by Claudino. She has a pattern. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll remember this one. Belfry and Boo-Yah is the pattern. This is Belfry, and I finished him last year, and then I started Boo-Yah last year, but did not finish him. decided that because I wanted to knit stockings, if you watched my last video, I was talking about some Fair Isle stockings, and I was like, well, I think you can't start the Fair Isle stocking until you finish Boo-Yah. These are both knitted in Stonehenge Fiber Mill Shepherd's Wool. I think I'm saying the name right. Yes. And I use size 4 double pointed needles to knit them. And they are both weighted with poly pellets so that they can stand up. So I like to, whenever I knit or crochet amigurumi in the body, I will I buy like nylons and then take the toe, kind of stick it in the body, dump some poly pellets in it, knot off the top, and then stuff the rest of the way and stuff around it if I need to. And then that weights the base and I don't have to worry about the poly pellets coming out. So that's what I did with the body. There's poly pellets inside of a nylon in here. And the knot at the top doesn't matter because you're just squishing polyfill on top of it. I liked the construction. It was very interesting. You knit the body, then you knit the arms, and then you do a, is it a 3 needle bind off? It's not a bind off though. It's like a 3 needle decrease. Anyway, and then you like join it to the body using the same decrease. It's very interesting. And then knit the head and knit up. It was cool. Susan Claudino is really good. Susan, her name on Ravelry is No Knit Sherlock. That might also be her Instagram name. I can't remember. She used to do a bunch of monsters by another designer, Rebecca Danger, who did a lot of really cool knitted monsters. And whenever Susan would knit them, she just made them look like better than everybody else's monsters somehow. And I long wanted to knit Rebecca's. I don't know that I ever got around to it. And then Susan eventually started designing, and she does some monsters and other cute things that are not monsters. But when she came out with this pattern, I just had to do it. So she, I think, has a knit along going for her patterns. It might be just Halloween ones, I'm not sure. I will link Belfry and Boo-Yah in case you're interested in looking them up to purchase them. So I'm happy I finished him. He's so cute. Look at that face. And oh, well, let me give you just a little close-up of Belfry. Okay, so that was one finish. My other two finishes are part of a swap that I did with Barbie and Helen, and Barbie just got hers over the weekend, and Helen should be getting hers today, so I can just make sure Helen's gotten her before I post this video. So Helen and Barbie and I decided to do a Halloween swap, and we planned this months ago, which was good because I started it in the summer. We decided we would do ornaments since that was kind of what everyone felt like they needed last year. Helen and I did a Halloween swap. We both did like pillow finishes that could be stuffed in a bowl or a tiered tray. This time we all kind of wanted ornaments. Although, you know, I didn't really have a preference, but so I don't know what I'm getting from them actually, but I think they both wanted ornaments. So in the summer, I started 2 Prairie Schooler pieces that were my unofficial Very Prairie Year stitch along pieces. So this one, Trick or Treat, I stitched for Barbie. I stitched this piece here. Oh, and I guess I should say Barbie is Barbie's Pedal Pusher and Helen is Helen D, East Coast Crafter, just in case you don't know. So that was what I stitched for Barbie. And then for Helen, because Helen loves kitties, I stitched her this kitty from Hocus Pocus right there. Both of these I changed the orange to, I think it's 3863, I think. I like a little bit of a brighter orange. Other than that, they were both stitched on 32 count macchiato, and what happened is I got them both stitched. I had a bunch of model stitching I was doing and model finishing of my own stuff, and it all kind of became this perfect storm of every weekend I was doing crazy finishing, and I needed to get their stuff finished because we were trying to get everything done by the end of September to send out. So I was slightly panicked. After weekends and weekends and weekends of finishing all weekend long and frantically photographing things and such. So I begged Faye Rigsby to, and she was very nice and said she would finish a couple things for me. One of them was Barbie's ornament. She was very prompt and she did a beautiful job. And so I just asked her to do a flat ornament for Barbie. And so, assuming that I haven't asked her permission yet. So assuming that she gives me permission to use her photo, I'll share that here. And if you don't see it, you know, that's fine too. I didn't get a picture of it. I just asked her to send it straight to Barbie. And then, that way I knew Barbie would get it before Halloween. So, Faye did a beautiful job. And she sent me a picture and I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So thank you, Faye, for your beautiful finishing. And Helen's I'd already started finishing like weeks ago, but then like I said, like all this stuff had to get done. And so Helen's was like half finished. And I knew basically what I wanted to do with it, I thought, which is that I wanted to do a Halloween tag ornament. So I had done at Christmas my first tag ornament using Vanna's tutorial. And it was a small Prairie Schooler Santa. And that went pretty well. I had run into a couple of issues where I didn't line up. I didn't understand how to use my Crop-A-Dile very well. It was the first time. And I didn't line up the 2 layers of the tag very well to punch through, to put the eyelets in. So the other thing that I didn't do very well last time is I had like tons of glue around the outside and it showed up and I had to cover it, the outside of the stitched piece because you put cording around that. Anyway, when I had done that, the glue line was so thick that even though I tried to rub it off and it, you know, just, you could still see it even after it dried. And I'd had to do an extra thinner line of cording, which looked really good, but I didn't want to have to necessarily do that again unless I wanted to. So I got smarter about that too. And I used a toothpick to put the glue around the edge of the mounted stitched piece before putting the cording down. And that helped a lot. So I didn't have that issue. It went very smoothly. I love you, Vanna. Thank you for making these tutorials. Really happy with how the finish came out. And it's all thanks to Vanna, really. I can't remember if I already said yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm coming or going. Oh yeah, I did say about Barbies. So now I will insert Helen's. Yeah, so that was awesome. So hopefully they like their ornaments and the little gifts that I sent them. So that was fun. I just need to be better. I don't have a lot of free time and I need to be better about managing my time and getting things done a little earlier. Actually, the problem is that on this one, I couldn't decide if I wanted to change. I thought that I might put orange pom-pom trim around this at one point, and so I didn't want to stitch the orange until I found a trim so that I could match it. But then I was like, you just need to get it done. Stop this. But that was like weeks of that sitting there that just needed to have the eyes and the ear stitched. And the same thing with Barbies. I had to make a decision. I stitched this gray and I'd left the eyes open on this and this and this. And then I like asked if it looked weird and was told, yes, I better stitch it. I didn't ask Barbie. I just checked. So then I had to fill these in, but you know, like indecision slowed me down and I got to learn to just, so I have this idea for when I can't decide something that unless it's like a actual like important, really important thing that I'm going to try this. We'll see if I even remember this, but I'm supposed to think about it for 5 minutes and then make a decision. And if I really can't decide, then maybe I'll flip a coin. And so my hope is that I won't waste so much time deciding things, and that if it's really an either or thing, flipping a coin will make the decision, or it will make me clear that I actually did have a preference and it was whatever I got or didn't get. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know if it's going to work or not. But I just need to, move on with stuff and not debate so many. I don't have time to debate so many things. Yeah. Okay, so those were my two finishes. Okay, I had a new start. I'm going to be kind of bobbing in and out of the screen the whole video because my table is not next to me this time. So my new start is for the autumn equinox / Leah Noel's birthday start, which was September 23rd. And I had thought I would do Halloween Town, and then I decided that I either wanted to do I wanted to do fall rather than Halloween because I've got several Halloween projects going. And I was thinking of doing either Harvest Time by Prairie Schooler because I wanted a Prairie Schooler piece, or Plum Street Sampler Lesson 4. And so the 23rd came, it was the evening, I finally had time to sit down, look at my fabric, and I realized that if I stitched it on 32 count, I didn't have any scroll rods available that were wide enough. I didn't want to stitch it in hand. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stitch it on 40 count. And I just admitted defeat and said, well, tomorrow is another day. So, because that was just too much decision for me, I was just like, just do this. It's small. You can worry about the Prairie Schooler thing later. And I decided to do that. So I think I might leave off the bottom. I'll see. I'm going to stitch the whole thing. And then if it seems like proportionally bizarre, I will add more. But otherwise, I think I could be pretty happy with just that. And so I started that and I stitched on it a couple of times. It's on 40 count macchiato. Dyed by me. This was a gift from Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. I am enjoying this stitch. So this is what I have so far. Very pretty. I love the soft colors. So it's good that I finally have something fall to stitch and not just Halloween. I realized getting my fall / Halloween decor up that somehow I mostly, there's some fuzz flying around, I mostly have Halloween and not very much fall, and that kind of surprised me. So I gotta fill in the gaps a little bit. So I'm really enjoying this. It's very pretty. It's a fun stitch. I like Paulette's designs, so that is going well. And I hope it will be a quick stitch. Okay, so whips. I guess I'm going to try to go in order of what I have in my book. Here's a Helen bag. It's a spring Helen bag, and I'm stitching Halloween. Another gift from Melanie is this awesome needle minder that I'm using with the project. So I am stitching Ye Old Crow Sampler by Heart and Hand. I've showed you this before. I'm using Peacoat by Weeks. And I am stitching this on 46 count Opulence, which was the new color I recently released in my update. So it's looking awesome. Now, why I stopped where I did is that I have seen this stitched with an orange pumpkin and green leaves on Instagram, and I've been debating doing the same. So I've pulled, and I couldn't decide for sure if I wanted to do that, but I think I do. So I've pulled some oranges and I've pulled some greens, and I've got a few more oranges on the way from Classic Colorworks. So now that I've decided that that's what I'm going to try doing, I'm just going to need to decide on an orange. So it's kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern because I'd like to see the other oranges before I make a final decision. This is beautiful. I'm enjoying it. So that's that. Next is Hollow's Eve at Raven's Hollow. I am doing this as a stitch along with Crystal and Christy. I'm not sure if they've been working on it lately or not, but I've made good progress actually, which when you have a whole month, you can make good progress, right? Oh, maybe I should show you the pattern first. This is in my, oops, just a second. Okay, here's the chart. It's by Brenda with that needle and thread. this awesome bag. It's from Becky. Okay, sorry. I'll delete that. Yeah, okay, let me show you I got a little discombobulated. Let me show you the piece. Now, I don't have all the floss that I need for this, all the called for floss. But I got this lady stitched. She looks pretty cute. I placed an order with Classic Color Works, and they're gonna ship me my order, but they're waiting on a color. There was an incident, so I'm waiting just a little bit on that. So the stitch along is, the stitch along is CC Hallows Eve Sal. This is 1/2. All of my 40 count, 46 count are 1/2. This is 1/2 on 40 count Whisper. Also dyed by me, as is Opulence, as is Macchiato. Okay. Next is Away We Ride. Now, I did not make too much progress on this. This was my birthday start. I think I've got a copy or two of this in my shop if you need a copy. It is a fun stitch. The border is hard, I'm not gonna lie. And that's all I worked on. I just, like, you know, filled in a little bit more of the border on each side, and that was all that I did. So this is also Macchiato, 40 count, 1/2, using most of the called for threads, and it's beautiful. And so I've decided with this that I'm not going to finish it this year, and that's fine. I will finish it next year by Halloween, I think. I think that's reasonable. And I'm just not going to sweat it. Do you see how quasi laid back I am for me, like compared to how I was a while ago in terms of having multiple projects going or getting things finished? I'm mellowing out. Okay, next up, another Blackbird Designs. This was from last year's Stitch Along, the 'Tis the Season. This cardinal. I showed this last time that I was planning to bring it back out, and I did put in some time on it, and I'm glad that I did. I'm using not the called for threads too much. The red is Belle Soie Tulip. And gosh, do I love stitching with it. Oh, yeah. So this is lovely. I'm really, really enjoying this now. This color I mentioned last time is one that I had just dyed for myself before I was dyeing to sell in my Etsy shop. And so I don't have it. And I know I got some subtle and not so subtle hints from you that you would like me to release this color. I promise you, I'm working on it. I don't know. You know, when I'm trying to match something, it can take a while. Right now, all of my efforts have turned out looking too much like mint green, which I also dye, for me to feel comfortable releasing it as a separate color. So I'm going to try to go more yellow green and also more blue green and see if I get a result I like that way. So I can't promise, but I'm trying. Okay, so that was that. Another 40 count, 1/2. So mainly I'm stitching these things in the evenings, and my mornings are pretty much devoted to model stitching at this point. I spend like a couple hours a day, if I can, on my models, and then if I have time in the evening or on Sundays, I'll take off from stitching my stuff and stitch someone else's things. Okay, I showed this last year, and then I didn't work on it again. So last time you saw this, I had gotten probably about here. These are pop top mittens that my friend Cynthia Spencer designed. She's really clear designs. So I pulled these back out because, as I said, I want to start some new knitting projects, but I need to finish some. So the ghost and these mittens were on my to finish list. So I knit the thumb for both mittens. The other one's in the bag. And I'm going to pick up along the ridge here to make the pop top and then knit up. And then when I get to about here, I'm going to add another kind of color work pattern from another mitten pattern that I have. And I knit these before. Boy, they'll look a little worse for wear, but so you can see they're well used. But this is what I'm going to do at the top. But I'm going to do it in red and white. So what happens over time, at least the way I wear mittens, is my thumb wears out. So I always knit them longer. So there's like maybe a 1/4 inch extra fabric here, because as I wear these, they kind of felt and shrink down. And then there's wear that's created here or tension, and eventually my thumb will pop through. So to lengthen the life of the mittens a bit, that's what I do. And then I can usually repair that hole like once and get another year's use out of them. So I can generally wear these about 2 to 3 years. Maybe if I used superwash, it would last longer because it wouldn't felt. I have not experimented. This is Cascade 220. I'm knitting these on like 5s and 7s. So for the ribbing, it's a 5. And then the just regular knit stitch, I'm using 7s. And I'm using a couple different kinds of needles. Let me see if I can show them to you. So for double pointed needles, I've found that I really like the Knitter's Pride carbons. So these are my size 5s. I like how pointy they are. And then I'm also using as a double pointed needle for the first time. Oh, they're not in the tube because they're on the other mitten. These Flexi Flips from Addie. I like the metal. I'm not a big bamboo fan, but that's just me. And I'm liking these. You have to be careful about getting gaps in your, as you're switching from one needle to the next to tighten it, but it's easier on my hands. What I find with the regular double pointed needles is that as my fingers kind of resting on it, it kind of bothers my hand after a while holding it and having that there. And that doesn't happen with these. So, I've only used the size 7, but I'm going to try these in other sizes because I do like that aspect of them. So, but so far, these are probably my favorites, the carbons and the Flexi Flips, that combo. So when I get that done, then I can start my Fair Isle stocking that I probably shouldn't start, but I will do it anyway. I have another project going, but I'm gonna try to get it a little farther along before I show you. It's another kind of craft, a sewing project. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna do from the archive just to keep this short. And I forgot a couple things I need to grab, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I had some kindness, actually a lot of kindness from Stephanie of Lindy Stitches. She asked if I would be interested in having her take my models to Galleria with her, which is awesome, and thank you again so much, Stephanie. So my models have gotten to travel a lot more than I have, which is pretty cool. They're seeing things I have not seen. Anyway, when she sent back my models, she included a couple of gifts. So she sent me these awesome little acorns that she made, and the beauty contest pattern, which if you are on Instagram, you will have seen. I believe Amanda May won this, and I think if you paint yourself green and pose that you should win this contest to be the ghoul friend, the ex-ghoul friend. So this is awesome. Stephanie's so good. So that was a kindness I received, and then, oh shoot, hold again, please. Honestly, I think I'm doing better than I expected in terms of remembering things. Okay, where should I begin? Well, you might be noticing that I'm becoming a pretty big Veronique Angangé fan, and There's if you follow that hashtag on Instagram, you'll see a lot of cool charts that you might not be aware of. So there's a site called, I'm probably gonna really butcher this and I apologize, Les Brodeaux Parisiennes. Sorry, I should have looked it up first, but I forgot. I don't know. Anyway, they have a website, and actually I got this through the French Needle. So the French Needle carries some French products imported from France, and cross stitch and embroidery. So this is like a mock-up of many cute designs by Veronique. This one is called The Grande Histoire. Oh, I'm pronouncing it like it's Spanish. Sorry. It's like the great or long history of Christmas #1. I don't know if grand means big or great in French. It can mean both in Spanish. Anyway, I do try to pronounce things correctly, but it's just a pronunciation fail kind of day. If it were in Spanish, I'd be a-okay. So you can see that these are super cute. This is in French, so, and there are no other like photos. It's not like one of the books. These are color charts. They don't have a middle. They're like similar to the books, but with no pictures of like the piece stitched up. But I just couldn't resist. Now this was a splurge. I will tell you, this was not inexpensive to buy, and I was rewarding myself a little retail therapy for all my hard work. And I retail therapied pretty good, I would say. So that was one thing that I purchased from the French Needle. There are a few different packages like this in different, I don't remember what the other Christmas ones are, but and the French Needle doesn't have all the ones that the website that these people in France have. I don't know if she'll get more in at some point. I think she did have more at one time. And so I've really been wanting this, and I decided that in case she sells out, I should just get it. And so I did. I think it's the great history, the long history. Okay, I did take a semester of French, but I don't remember. So someone who has better memory or more French than me, let me know. I got this because I need to make this snowman. This is actually an old issue. I have some of the other issues. These are actually really cool magazines. I don't know if you've ever gotten them before. You can get them at like Barnes & Noble and like the big box craft stores. And they just have a bunch of like different kinds of holiday projects. This is a paper clay, and I've been wanting to try paper clay, but telling myself not to for a pretty long time now. But there's a woman on Instagram, and I believe her name is Sweet Rose and Wren, and she made some of these last year, and then I just died when I saw hers. I just started following her recently. And she's got like in her Instagram story, she's got a little video where she talks through how she got this magazine, and then she made some of her own. And this person who made this has an Etsy shop, and her stuff's amazing. She doesn't have stuff in there very often. She's Cat and Fiddle Folk on Etsy. But yeah, so I bought everything to make this. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I just can't help myself. So this is in case you're wondering, this is the 2017 issue. They just released the issue for this year. It had some cute stuff in it too. And then lastly, I don't know if there was much rejoicing for you, but for me, Amity Vintage and Craft, I think I've mentioned her before. She's on Instagram, and she's the one that had alerted me to the museum exhibit with the samplers in Williamsport. So she made an announcement recently on Instagram that Scenic Farm was being released by Hirschner's. And I was like I was in my office hours at work, and I was like, what? Drop everything. And she said, even though it's back ordered, you could order it. I could not order it. I had to call them. And then they gave me a confirmation number, and then I never got a confirmation email. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to get this. But I got an email that it was shipping earlier than expected, and it's here, and I'm so excited. This is huge, you know? I mean, this is not a small project, but I did grow up on a farm. I like farm scenes a lot. I've seen this on some Flosstube videos, and I think it's just really beautiful and peaceful. I would probably do what Deb is doing from Country Stitchers and do it on 40 count, and maybe get some over-dyed floss for the blended areas. So right now I do not own a scroll rod to fit this that is available. And actually the only one that might work is the one that has my American flag quilt sampler, and I'm not taking that off. So I think I'm going to order a scroll rod to stitch this. I'll probably stitch it on linen. It comes with Aida, but I think I'll probably stitch it on linen. This is, I think, the 18 count Aida. Yes. So that was my haul. I got some new, okay, so I got some new things in the shop, and then at the end I want to show you some images of how people have been finishing a Raven's reply, because it's awesome. So people on Instagram have been posting their finishes, and they've done such a nice job. So I've been asking if I could share their finishes here, and a lot of people have said that would be okay. So I would like to show you so you can see what people have been doing. So let me show you what's in my shop, and then I'll put the photos at the end. Okay, so I just love this pattern by Kathy and had to get it. So I got one for me and a couple for you guys. I don't have the buttons at this time, but if that's something you're interested in, I can see about ordering them from Just Another Button Company. Comes with the felt. So cute. This I had, and it went out of stock, and I've ordered it again. It should be here in a few days. So you can look for this in a few days. So cute. This was obviously out of print, and then they reprinted it. I think these are what Vanna used for some of her tag finishes, and I thought they looked so nice. Just kind of the perfect size. You know, birds of a feather isn't around anymore, so I'm kind of picking these up as I can, and this is one that I ordered from Hoffman. And you can see that you can do all the seasons. I think it'd be cool to actually just even pick out some motifs from it and do little ornaments. Maybe not necessarily do the whole thing if you wanted to. So this is called Holiday Seasons. I've got a few copies in my shop. This I saw Christy stitching, Java Girl Stitches, oops. And this is one of those charts that totally, like, I mean, it's dark. I didn't even notice it. It didn't call my attention. But when I saw hers that were being stitched, I was like, oh my gosh, those are so awesome. Comes with the buttons and the beads that you need to stitch these. If you haven't checked out how she's done these, you should really, really do that. I have more sampler lesson 4 on the way because I did sell out of that. Merry Friends is back in stock. This is so, so cute. This, I don't know. I need more hours in the day just to like live my life, let alone stitch. And I got a little bit more of this back in stock. The summer salt boxes. Probably you're not really in the mood to stitch summer. I don't know. Then again, if you're living where there was just snow happening, you might be. I'm sorry that you're getting snow already. It's wrong. There shouldn't be any snow before October, and really not before Halloween, in my opinion. That should be a law. You know? Shouldn't that be a law? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna put in the pictures of the Raven's reply finishes. Like I said, I think it's probable. My mom's coming to visit me mid-October, so the weekend starting like around the 17th of October, I'll probably, from like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll probably take down physical items from my shop and only have digital items because my mom will be visiting me, and the room that she stays in is also my shipping room / crafting room, and I can't get to anything while she's staying there to ship anything. So for a few days, 17th, 18th, 19th or so, I'll only have digital stuff, and then I'll put everything back up after she leaves. I'm looking forward to her visit. Should be really fun. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I might put her to work actually helping me get some stuff ready for my shop update. Like kitting up floss and things like that might be one of the tasks that we do while she's here. But we'll go probably do some antique shopping. She's bringing me my hutch. I'm really excited. So possibly the next time you see me, there'll be a hutch here. It's going to require some rearranging of my living room. But odds are good that you won't see me again until the end of October, unless some kind of miracle happens. And since I'm generally rather poor at accurately estimating how long things will take me and how much time I have consistently, that's a problem for me. I'm just going to assume that I won't have time to make a video until the end of October. 24 hours of cross stitch. I think I'm going to try to participate next weekend. I just need to see how my life goes. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry it was a little bit scattered, but I don't think it was too bad really considering. But thanks for tolerating the scatter. Thanks so much for all the kind comments you leave, the encouragement. I really enjoy your friendship and have really enjoyed getting to know you this past year and 3/4 or so that we're at now of Flosstube. Hope that you have a great few weeks or so, 4 weeks maybe, until I see you again. Happy stitching and take care.